Hi everyone, this is Bic Benedict. We're playing Ninja Gaiden 1 on very hard difficulty. We're on Chapter 5, the City of Fiends. So we're going to start out here on top of Han's bar. And Ayane has just thrown us a scroll. We're going to grab the Lily Key and go over to the save point and save our progress. Now you can either go down the ladder or just jump off this ledge and go to this floor here. Get yourself an elixir of spiritual life and wage your campaign down the way and take these guys out. Feel free to use your magic because we can go over to the what is the Xbox logo in this game, but it's a monolith in Ninja Gaiden Sigma. I like the monolith myself. There were 3 of them. In this game there's just that one in the alleyway by Han's bar. So this chapter is about 20 minutes in length, and it has a boss fight. It has Hydrocubus for the boss fight, and he's pretty easy. Okay, so oh yeah, couldn't carry enough. Had too many on hand right there. What else to say? We got the Lily Key. So the Lily Key door is nearby where we got the lives of the 1,000 gods in the previous chapter. Okay, so now I'm going to go back and get the elixir of spiritual life, which I couldn't collect because I had too many of them. And also the Lily Key door, there normally is a save point by it if you're used to playing Ninja Gaiden Sigma. It looks like I have to fight these guys again. Normally I'll fight all the battles, but that's leading me to a tangent, not really a tangent, but just something I was going to discuss more in the previous video. Because this is an open world game, you're going to be going over the map a lot, so what they do is, once you kill enemies, they're going to be there every single time you go back to that area. Once you go far enough away from it, or if you go through a door or something like that. It's just to give the game, it's just to populate the game and give you fun stuff to do. I mean, if there were no battles, if you only fought the first time, the first battle, if you only did that one time, it wouldn't really be enjoyable. It's like Metroid, or any non-linear Castlevania games. And that's just how these enemies work. But if I'm trying to get to a goal, I usually will just fight anybody I encounter. But if I double back or anything, I'll probably skip the battle. So here we got a pretty tough fight. There was XXYY. And I'm really liking this costume, being able to keep it. I wanted to keep it. I wanted this costume to be selected, like you can have it. But none of the other versions of this game ever let you keep it beyond Chapter 2. So I'm going to go to the save point, and then once I leave the save point, you're going to see that I have Nympha. It's because I went up there and got my health and my mana regenerated. Sir, this is the wind run. This is the homing jump, or the wind run. You should call it the wind run because that's what the game calls it. But as you can see, when I did that move, it didn't have the little wind effect around his body when you're doing it like they did in Black and Sigma. So normally there would be a save point right over here. That's the one I was talking about. So here's the Lily door, and we just use the Lily Key. So I'm getting better at these guillotine throws. If you're in proximity of the enemy, just jump and press Y, and you'll do the guillotine throw. So there's a nice evisceration right there. We're going to do some wall running, and sometimes this is the life of the gods in some difficulties, but on this one it's just a elixir of spiritual life. So I can't get that, so I'll have to remember to get that. So every time you come over here, you're going to be ambushed by these guys here. And normally the enemy set is it's 3 in number. But these guys, they're pretty formidable and they're very fast, but they're not that tough. They're really not. I mean, you might see me be at almost the point of death at some points, but that's just because their combos hit me so much. And as far as items and things like that in this chapter, I don't believe I buy anything except the Armlet of the Sun. Oh, I know what happened. I went too far back. See, sometimes you just go back to just a little bit and then they'll respawn. I wasn't having these guys respawn on purpose, but since they respawned, I decided just to fight them again. I'm really excited about this guide and the campaign, like I've said many times and echoed in other chapters. And I'm also really excited to do the Fiend Challenges because I'm eager to start doing them. And so I don't think when I was playing on hard, I don't really think I went. I did not go out of my way to do them. So I was just doing a speed run to unlock this difficulty so I could get my guide started. But I'm looking forward to the Archives Fiend Challenge, if there is one, and the Great Bridge Fiend Challenge. Now that door right there, that connects to the area where we got the nunchucks, and I don't believe I'll be going through it, but that is the area in question. Our next goal is to get the Pegasus key to open that door that has the drawbridge lever on it. So there we go, got a nice GT. Okay, I'm going to go through this door right here. And I was trying to charge an attack over here off that guy's essence. But I couldn't get an on-landing charge. And a lot of these times, especially these guys in the white armor, they really guard lock you to the point where you can't move. And that's when you really get beat up on. We will be going through that door with the crack on it when we get Rachel's Warhammer. In fact, as soon as I get that, I'm going to be backtracking to this region to get that and to get the contents beyond the door. So there is the Key of Pegasus. Now there's a golden scarab over here. You just need to do a wall run. If you fall down there, though, like I almost did, you'll have to refight the Grey Ninjas, or at least sprint past them. So you just want to go back the way we came, right back to the save point. So here's an instance where I did fly swallow that guy and wind path off his head, but I don't want to fight those guys. And that's really good effects right there. See the blood splatter around the wall where my head was? It's really good game design. I mean, this game is really old, but it stands the test of time, in my opinion. I mean, it came out in 2004, so it's almost a decade old. Hopefully, they do something good for the decade anniversary, the 10-year anniversary. Maybe they'll actually make another good Ninja Gaiden game. Because what we received, Ninja Gaiden 3, Razor's Edge, that's unacceptable. Not good enough. Sorry about that, but it's just not fucking good enough. So here's the Pegasus door. We're going to lower the drawbridge. And then we're on our way to fight the boss. It's actually like a 3-part sequence of enemies, and we're going to be fighting some dinosaurs. They take away a lot of HP off of you if they bite you. So you don't necessarily need to save it because there's going to be a save point up ahead. But here are the enemies again, and I think this time I do engage them. So try to get a UT going. There we go. And this didn't kill him, and that's rare. Normally that'll kill him. But I missed out on my money, unfortunately. Okay, so up ahead is a golden scarab, and it's number 8, and the one around the corner is number 9. So before I actually went to the boss fight, I saved my progress and I went back to Marimasa's and tried to see what he might give me, because I thought I had 10, but I only had 9. So the next golden scarab, I will be getting a reward, but that's also leading me to something else. Sometimes he'll give you. Well, in Ninja Gaiden Black, not this game, and Sigma, he'll give you a reward for every 5 that you give him, and he'll also give you something for the first one you give him, and for the 49th one you give him, as well as for the last one, the 50th that you give him. But this one, sometimes you'll be at the next 5 in the count, and he won't give you anything. It happened quite a lot on Ninja Gaiden. In my previous campaign, it happened a lot, and it's still happening here. Because the last time I went in there, he gave me nothing. I think for 5, he gave me nothing. So when we get to the time run under alert section, we'll be fighting in this exact spot, but we'll have drones. Well, excuse me. There wasn't drones when I was playing hard mode, and that led me to suspect that there weren't drones in this game. There's flying drones that give you nothing and they're a pain in the ass. But there are drones, and I wish those guys weren't in this game, because they're such pests, and you can't jump and fire an arrow in this game. It's really bad. But we're gonna get a high potion over here, and you want to see this is an interesting set, because it's not just 3 enemies; it's 4 enemies. Because it's usually 3. So this could be a harder fight than some of the other ones for people. But yeah, look how damaging that is, that splash damage. It's really ridiculous. There might even have been 5 over here. Sometimes there's 2 sets of these guys. Maybe they blended in together. And I'm not sure what that was. Maybe they threw a smoke bomb and left. So in the last, even though I trimmed the cutscenes out, in the last cutscene we met Rachel. You know, she of the double D tits, and man, I gotta tell you, like, the last sequence you do in this game is such bullshit, where you have to get up to her in time and get to the final boss without a checkpoint, and it's just like so bad. So what you need to do now is, we're in that monastery inner clearing, so just go over to this area, and then you'll see the wind run. It made my jump go in the opposite direction, because the wind run targets enemies. So guillotine throw, and one of these guys really beat me up, because he stun locked me, and he see, I just couldn't move. So once these guys are dead, well, let me strike that. They don't all have to be dead. Just kill enough of them so that these guys spawn. And I believe I switched to my sun armlet here, and it probably wasn't the best idea, because I get dealt significant damage over here. See, look at that damage. That damage. Heavy damage. Now these guys, they have a swipe attack with their arms and a charge, but you can pretty much block all their attacks. They might do some guard breaking moves, But normally when I would fight these guys, I would charge and attack. But now I'm just doing the Azuna drop. I'm doing the Azuna drop, then I'm evading, because that chomp is unblockable, and it'll deal. You saw how much damage I got dealt. So I'm just blocking just in case when I come down from that Azuna drop. Ooh, damn! Didn't expect to live right there. And I'm going to use one of these because surprisingly you can carry 5 of those on this difficulty. So these guys are just tall enough so that you can connect all the hits of the Azuna drop. And whenever I do get the essence, I'll charge and attack. But this guy hadn't been hit at all, so I don't think he even got hit very much at all. So I'm just going to evade too. When I do these Azuna drop, I'm going to evade away. See, evade, because they do the claw, and that claw, I could have blocked that claw attack, but I just don't want to get bitten. And here, regrettably, I couldn't move the camera, but I saw him, and I judged that was enough distance, but it wasn't. So, if you want to use Nimpo, it's okay to use Nimpo on these guys. It would actually help out. You really don't need Nimpo on this thing, the Hydrocubus. So you need to go in for a Flying Swallow. Then, when you do the Flying Swallow, sure can cancel by pressing the B button, I guess it would be, and then press the Y button. So what you're doing is you're doing the Fly Swallow, then you're pressing B to Shuriken cancel, and then you're pressing Y again to do that downward stab. Because if you don't Shuriken cancel out of that attack, out of the Flying Swallow, he'll swipe you, and you'll get dealt even more damage than ordinarily. So you can't damage this guy significantly until both of his tentacles are gone. So every time I sever both tentacles, I switch to the Armlet of the Sun to deal him more damage. So I do a UT and then I do an Azuna drop. And then at that point you can't hit him anymore. See, my attacks are going right through him. So now I'm going to switch to the Armlet of the Moon. And Fly Swallow. That was a missed Flying Swallow. Fly Swallow, Shuriken cancel, Y again. So he always gives off. I don't think he ever gets Yellow Orb. So he'll always give you health or magic. So collect the first one. You'll probably need health. So just collect the health, and then if you want, you don't have to keep switching the armaments like I do here. But definitely use the second orb to expedite your UT. And you see how much damage you can take off him? It's remarkable damage. And I'm just going to throw this magic here because I'm going to get magic anyway in the next chapter. It's going to fill me up again. So the most important thing, though, for a long time I was playing this boss and I didn't realize you had to Shuriken cancel out of that attack. And I was always getting dealt. I was always getting hit more than I needed to be getting hit. And that was the answer. So for some reason, I think I hit him at a bad angle, like a dead angle. So I had to start this whole thing over again. He's almost dead. So now I just need to hit some tentacles. Hitting the tentacles will take off life. So if I could just slash at his tentacles, I could kill him. And then the next chapter is a tough one. It's called the Monastery. So bring all your skill to that chapter and get all your accessories, all your items, and max out your weapons as much as you can, because it's going to be a tough chapter. But that's cleared. Chapter 5 cleared, and I'll see you in Chapter 6, the Monastery.